next up, which this really caught my attention because of Cassie, the singer. I listened to her growing up, and I really liked her music, and I had no idea about this. So I saw this on True Crime Daily, and it's entitled, Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Settle Lawsuit 1 day after she accused him of the R word and abuse. And the accusations, you guys, are insane. They are wild.
Jeez.
Like, it's really interesting that we see so many of these men within Hollywood, music industries, entertainment industries that end up having these allegations against them. And it usually ends up being more than one woman. Like, what is it? Is it money and fame that gets to their heads where they feel like women are property? Is it a subculture within that community? What is it? It's gross. It needs to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how many are we? I mean, since Me Too, how many have been exposed? And I'm not saying Me Too was a great movement or anything.
No.
But it's important for these things to be brought to light because they gotta stop.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's important for men or women or anything in between.
Yes.
Like, it shouldn't happen to anybody. And as you guys know, I wasn't an adult, so it's very different. But I was a child and understand just some of the reactions to being taken advantage of in such a way. And, this stuff is really important to me, that consent as an adult is followed in every way, shape, and form. I have no idea how bad the claims are, but I mean, even like questionable situations, I feel like with proper communication and over-the-top consent, enthusiastic consent can deter a lot of things.
Oh no, he's just, if these are true, he's just an abuser.
Yeah. Which,
unfortunately, with them settling...
We won't know.
With them settling, we won't know for sure. It didn't get, like the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial. It won't get, panned out in court.
One thing to remember, too, in these situations, sometimes, unfortunately, and I'm not saying only women do this, but in a situation where both people are really powerful and Sean and Combs is a producer, could a weird situation have happened where they disagreed on something and she was like, look, if you don't hold up your end of the bargain, I'm going to do something that ends you. You know what I mean? And this is the reaction of that, where like things like that are possible too. And I'm not pointing blame. I just have to give a contradicting argument.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So Cassandra Ventura is her full name. She said, I've decided to resolve
Cassie,
this...
right?
Cassie,
yeah.
Better known as Cassie, the singer. I've decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for the unwavering support. So it goes on to detail more of this in this article, and it's pretty graphic. It's absolutely disgusting, but some of the accusations are that he trafficked her, and physically abused her. He apparently kept her supplied with drugs, and gender discrimination. That a lot of his abuse was literally gender motivated, which is... interesting.
Yeah.
But she met him in 2005 when she was only 19 years old and he was 37.
Yeah. I wonder if she got her break in music because of this.
I believe so. She said that he positioned himself as a father figure and protector, exerted his power and influence over her. And he signed her to his music label.
Yeah.
In 2005.
I would assume so. I didn't know that off the top of my head, but it makes sense.
Yep. So he trafficked her?
Yeah, according to what she's saying.
Like, he pimped her out to other celebrities?
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's like you said in the beginning, there is no way to know. And this could be something other than what we're seeing here. I hope for her sake, this isn't true, and this was a way to resolve something, because that sounds horrible.
It does. So one of the accusations is that he made her have relations with a male prostitute in what he called freak-offs while he watched, and kept her supplied with many substances, like like ketamine, ecstasy, coke, alcohol, like a lot. And he would get her, her mind altered, make her do this act, and then on some occasions literally beat her afterwards. It's wild stuff, and that then he would give her a bunch of gifts and things like that. It's so much. She said that he was prone to like just out of control anger, just completely out of control.
Which is that is so bizarre to me in these situations where if this is real, if this is true, an abuser is just an abuser, because you can have these same types of experiences with someone that's interested in having them with consent. Like, people enjoy these things. Someone enjoys doing those type of things, consenting.
Well, they weren't even in a relationship.
That doesn't have anything
he's
to
her
do
producer.
with it. You don't have to be in a relationship to have a consenting agreement
That's
to
true.
be part of something like this. So, I don't think that matters in my argument of what I was saying of why. If you have these types of interests and you're a person, you can absolutely act them out on somebody that wants to do it with you and is talked about beforehand. Enthusiastic, consentingly.
Well, here's one fact that proves at least some of her allegations true, okay? So, apparently, Cassie started dating Kid Cudi, and that really made Diddy mad. So, according to a lawsuit in February 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home and with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. Kid Cudi confirmed that he had a car that exploded to the New York Times via a spokesperson, who said it's all true.
Interesting.
It's insane.
But I would need evidence to back that. I understand Kid Cudi said that, but,
Yeah, I mean, it's at least something to confirm kind of something.
There would have to be some kind of report around that explosion,
So, my question is, when they settle, can other people come forward and confirm her stuff?
Yeah,
she can't speak anymore, though, can she?
No. That it needs to be done. So anybody can come forward and say whatever they want, but if you're not the victim, then you can't say anything. Like, no one's going to believe that. Well, you're not the victim. I could come forward and say, P. Diddy did this to her. I just know it.
No, I mean, if people come forward and have evidence to back her up in some of her statements, is all I'm saying.
They could, but where's the gain there? She agreed to not have this out in the open. Yeah. For whatever reason, whether it's true or not.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting allegations, though. Gosh, I wonder, since he did this to her, did he do this to any of his other female clients that he signed?
Allegedly. I think it's important for us not to jump on the bandwagon that he did this, because we don't know if he did this. Have no idea.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's all alleged.
What the claims were. And in Hollywood, when big money is at play here, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked if this was a way to like resolve a money issue too. You know what I mean? And I'm not coming at her. I'm just saying in Hollywood, when there's large money at play here and some kind of an agreement didn't happen like it was supposed to, something got messed up, there are other ways to make someone pay or uphold their end of the bargain,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe this either, but...
I mean, I don't believe anything. I only believe what I have actual factual evidence of myself.
Yeah.
So I don't believe her, and I don't believe him.
I do not... I won't say I don't believe her.
Oh, I will.
I will say that I don't disbelieve her. I just don't know. I'm inclined to believe victims most of the time, but I'm not going to say I believe it 100% until I see evidence, and we're not going to get that. It's a settlement.
I just don't believe anybody. It has nothing to do with them being a victim. If I don't see it with my own eyes, I do not believe it. So.
Okay. That's your opinion. But, I mean, I'm inclined to believe her. I just don't have anything to back it, so I can't jump on the train, and it's still all alleged. So, you know?
Yep.
I'm curious, though, if this will affect anything, if he has any projects ongoing.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think it will?
No, and P. Diddy is massive. He owns all his own stuff. It's not like he's owned by a label. He is the label. It's not like he is owned by a brand. He is the brand. He owns vodka companies. He owns multiple club businesses. He owns everything.
Do you think that... Oh, gosh, you made me lose it because I was thinking it the whole time, but I needed to say it, but I forgot already. Do you think that if you had allegations, okay, of something like this, would you settle and not defend yourself in court?
Yeah.
Like, especially, I mean, because settling on this, for a lot of people, I think would make them think, oh, yeah, he did it. He just didn't want it all to be talked about in court.
No. I would do whatever would save me the most money.
Like, Johnny Depp went to court to prove that he was not an abuser.
Yeah, but for some, it just depends on what's important to people. See, for me, I really enjoy people, and I like when people are interested in, like, having relationships, communication, things like that. But I don't need people to believe my character is honest, trustworthy, anything like that. So in a situation like this, if I was super mega rich and a woman came forward and claimed I was doing all of these things, my number one concern would be, what would be the cheapest outcome? Is it cheaper to just come to a settlement so she can never talk about it again? Or is it cheaper getting an attorney and having them battle it out? That's what I would do, because I wouldn't care what people thought.
Even if it hurt your income severely?
How would it hurt my income?
I mean, it did hurt Johnny Depp's a lot.
Yeah, because he's owned. P. Diddy's not owned by anybody.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I would do whatever is cheapest. For Johnny Depp, the cheapest thing was probably to go to court and fix that. Because he got dropped from roles that were going to make him multi-hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So for me, it just wouldn't be about what people thought. People are going to think whatever they want anyways. I don't care.
Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. It's just disappointing every time you hear a story like this. And there's a lot of back and forth. People that don't believe it, or, you know, people that want to, you know, light their pitchforks or whatever, light their torches, get their pitchforks. So it's always just disappointing, and it's always a mess, and it's just, I wish it would stop.
You just never know what's true or what's not. That's why I say I don't believe anybody. If it happened, most situations will show evidence of it being true. And then that gives everybody the right to believe it. But for somebody to come out and make a statement and expect people to just believe their words, dude, I'm a salesman. Anybody can say anything.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I look at things this way, because I am a salesman. I'm not a shady salesman. I don't lie ever to anybody I sell to. That's something I will not do. But I've worked around tons of people who do. Tons and tons and tons and tons. Anybody can say anything. So I just don't believe anything. That's not offensive. That just means I need to see evidence with my own eyes. Otherwise, it's not that I don't believe you, but I don't believe you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You just said the same thing twice, but okay.
I understand that, but I feel like you guys would understand.
I understand.
Yeah.
But
it's
like
not
I
personal.
said, let us know what you think.
Let us know.